If movies like Indiana Jones are to be believed, the world is teeming with hidden treasures and caches of valuable items just waiting to be found. Well, that's obviously not true. But many fabled items and artifacts from history still remain missing. Many of them were looted or stolen by petty soldiers during the many wars of history, while others just disappeared among long lineages of royalty no one bothered to keep a check on. So, join us for today's video as we're going to explore the 15 legendary lost treasures that archaeologists are still searching for. Number 15. Peking Man Fossils. The Peking Man fossils were a set of ancient, human-like skeletal remains uncovered in the Zhoukoudian cave network near Beijing. Dated anywhere from 770,000 to 230,000 years ago, they belong to the hominid species Homo erectus. Their discovery in the 1920s was a major breakthrough in archaeology, offering rare insight into early human presence in Asia. But in September 1941, with World War II in full swing, the fossils were packed up and sent to the US for safekeeping. They never arrived. They've been missing ever since. Some believe Japanese troops seized them during their occupation of China. Others claim they were misplaced in transit or obliterated during Allied bombings. I've read every theory under the sun, and no one has ever found a trace. For something that helped piece together our evolutionary puzzle, it vanished without so much as a goodbye. A century later, we're still left with questions and not a single solid clue. Number 14. Sarcophagus of Menkaure. Back in October 1838, the British schooner Beatrice left Alexandria, Egypt, carrying something priceless, the sarcophagus of Pharaoh Menkaure, the man who built the third pyramid at Giza. But before it could reach its destination, the ship vanished in a brutal storm, taking the ancient artifact with it. No one knows exactly where the wreck is. Some believe it went down near Gibraltar. Others suggest it's somewhere between Malta and Spain. A few points to the Tuscan coast of Italy. Over the years, there have been several attempts to locate it. In 2008, a joint team of Spanish and Egyptian archaeologists tried again. No luck. And even if we did find it, good luck recovering it. The ship was British, but the wreckage might lie in Spanish waters, which means untangling a mess of legal red tape. I've always been fascinated by it. An artifact older than most nations, swallowed whole by the sea, still out there somewhere, waiting to be found. Number 13. The Spanish Treasure Fleet. If you ever find yourself walking along Vero Beach in Florida and spot something glinting in the sand, don't assume it's just a shiny shell. You might be staring at gold from the infamous 1715 treasure fleet. They call this stretch of coastline the Treasure Coast, for a reason. Back in July 1715, 12 Spanish ships loaded with gold, silver, and gemstones worth around 14 million pesos left Havana for Spain. They never made it. A hurricane ripped through their path, dragging 11 of them, including the Nuestra Señora de la Regla and Santa Cristo de San Ramon, to the ocean floor. Only the French ship Le Griffon escaped. Around 1,000 lives were lost, and while Spain salvaged about 80% of the treasure, 4 wrecks remain undiscovered. I've followed every new discovery, from million-dollar coin finds to half-buried artifacts. With every wave that hits the shore, pieces of that story still wash up, reminding us that some legends are literally just beneath the surface. Number 12. Library of the Moscow Tsars. The legendary library of Ivan the Terrible is said to have started with his grandfather, Ivan III, whose wife brought with her ancient manuscripts from places like Constantinople and maybe even Alexandria. Ivan the Terrible built on the collection, adding texts in Latin, Greek, Hebrew, Egyptian, and even Chinese, some dating back to the 2nd century. By all accounts, it was big. Works like Cicero's De Republica and Livy's History of Rome were supposedly part of it. To protect it from the constant fires in Moscow, it was likely moved to a basement under the Kremlin. Then, It just disappeared. After Ivan's death, no records mention it again. Some say it burned, others think it's still hidden underground. I've read about the archaeologist Ignatius Stiletsky, who spent his life searching for it. He never found a page. It's hard not to imagine what's in there. Lost wisdom, vanished history, and maybe, one day, it'll come back into the light. Number 11. Baghdad Museum's treasure. The infamous looting of the Baghdad Museum began on April 10, 2003, and continued for over 36 hours, right as U.S.-led coalition forces closed in on the city during the Iraq War. Many of the museum's most valuable artifacts were stolen, including ancient cuneiform tablets, sculptures, and jewelry spanning Iraq's rich cultural history. The looting was largely blamed on the absence of security, as museum staff had evacuated days earlier due to the rapid advance of American troops. With no protection in place, over 15,000 artifacts were taken. Fortunately, more than 8,000 had been secured by staff beforehand, and by 2018, around 7,000 stolen items had been recovered through international collectors. Still, as of late 2025, nearly 4,000 objects remain unaccounted for. I've followed this tragedy for years, and it still stings. The museum was a time capsule of humanity's oldest stories, and in just 2 days, a part of our global heritage vanished. Number 10. The Amber Room. Construction on the Amber Room began in 1701, when Prussian King Frederick I ordered an extravagantly gilded chamber for Charlottenburg Palace. Its mysterious disappearance came in 1941, when it was seized by German troops during the Soviet invasion known as Operation Barbarossa. Today, only a replica of this so-called eighth wonder of the world stands in its place. A masterpiece that took over 6 years to complete, the Amber Room was famed for its glowing panels, mirrors, gold leaf, and jeweled mosaics. It was gifted to Peter the Great in 1716 and later moved to the Catherine Palace in Tsarskoye Selo in 1755, where it was expanded into a 55-square-meter showpiece made from over 6 tons of amber. When Nazi forces arrived in 1941, curators tried to hide the panels behind wallpaper, but failed. In just 2 days, it was packed up and sent to Königsberg Castle. After Allied bombings in 1943, the room vanished without a trace. Number 9. The Lost Treasure of the Beale Ciphers. One of the most mysterious treasure legends centers around Thomas J. Beale, an American who left behind clues to an actual hidden fortune. The instructions are real, but so complex that no one has been able to pinpoint where the loot was buried. According to a pamphlet published in 1885, Beale and several companions uncovered a massive stash of gold and silver while mining in the Rocky Mountains during the 1820s. They transported the treasure to Bedford County and buried it. To ensure their families benefited, Beale wrote 3 encrypted letters describing the location, the contents, and the names of all 30 partners. He sealed them in a box and gave it to a friend, innkeeper Robert Morris, with instructions to open it if he didn't return in 10 years. He never came back. Morris finally opened the box 23 years later and tried to decode the notes. Only one has ever been cracked, and the treasure remains missing. Number 8. Heirloom Seal of the Realm. The Heirloom Seal of the Realm, also called the Imperial Seal of China, was a vital artifact used by Chinese emperors for generations. Crafted from a legendary piece of jade, it was commissioned by China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, in 221 BC and was used to authorize decrees and edicts of the imperial court. The jade itself carried its own tragic origin story, making the seal a powerful symbol of royal authority for centuries. But the seal vanished from history during the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms era, sometime between 907 and 960 AD. It's believed it may have been destroyed during that chaotic period, possibly during the suicide of Tang Emperor Li Chu and his family. Another theory says it was eventually seized by the Yuan dynasty in the 14th century. No matter how it vanished, it's never been recovered. That seal once embodied the emperor's divine right to rule. Now it's just a mystery wrapped in history. Number 7. Treasures of Nimrud. The ancient city of Nimrud, located in present-day Iraq, served as the capital of the Assyrian Empire during the reign of Ashurnasirpal II, who ruled from 883 to 859 BC. He commissioned a grand palace at Nimrud, along with many other royal structures. In recent years, however, Nimrud has suffered immense devastation. The SIS, which seized the site in June 2014, held it until November 2016. By that point, ISIS had already demolished sections of the city using explosives and heavy machinery, bulldozing and desecrating large swathes of its ruins. Some of the city's artifacts were looted or obliterated entirely. Even after Nimrud was recaptured, the lack of security led to further theft. Many treasures were destroyed, others severely damaged, but are potentially restorable. Some relics may still resurface, either on the black market or through future excavation. Number 6. Lost Da Vinci Mural. In 1505, Leonardo da Vinci painted a mural celebrating Florence's 1440 victory over Milan in the Battle of Anghiari. The work, housed in Florence's Palazzo Vecchio, mysteriously vanished in 1563 when painter and architect Giorgio Vasari remodeled the hall. For centuries, its fate remained uncertain. Then in 2012, a group of researchers announced they had found signs that the mural wasn't destroyed, but merely hidden beneath Vasari's later artwork. The team conducted years of scientific studies, including radar imaging, and published a major study in 2005. Despite initial excitement, the evidence was never officially confirmed, and the project was indefinitely suspended later that year. In 2020, another group of scholars suggested that Leonardo never painted the mural at all, sparking even more controversy. The claim remains contested. Whether the mural ever existed or still lies behind Vasari's wall is still up for debate. Number 5. Copper Scroll Treasures. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls found in the Qumran caves of the West Bank, one stands apart, a unique text engraved on copper detailing the location of immense hidden treasure. Known as the Copper Scroll, it now resides in a Jordanian museum. Whether it refers to real wealth or ancient legend is still debated. The scroll is dated to around AD 70, during the Roman siege of Jerusalem and the destruction of the Second Temple. Some scholars argue it lists genuine treasures hidden before Rome's conquest. Others insist the volume of gold and silver described is so enormous, it must be symbolic or mythical. The scroll's tone and format differ significantly from the other religious and philosophical texts found nearby, fueling more intrigue. I've read both arguments, and neither side has proved conclusive. Whether it's a historical treasure map or literary fantasy, this scroll still stirs imaginations, and maybe one day, its secrets will finally be unearthed. Number 4. Michelangelo's Mask of a Faun. This marble sculpture, known as the Mask of a Faun, is believed to be an early work by Italian master Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, better known simply as Michelangelo. The mask, representing a mythical creature that's half man, half goat, was once housed in Florence's Bargello Museum. But in 1944, it vanished during World War II. According to records from the Monuments Men Foundation, soldiers from the German Army's 305th Division, part of the 10th Army, stole it from Castello di Poppi, a Tuscan castle. The theft occurred sometime between August 22nd and August 23rd, 1944. The sculpture was loaded onto a military truck, which reportedly made a stop in Forlì, Italy, on August 31st. That's the last confirmed sighting. Since then, no one has traced its whereabouts. I've followed its story for years, and it's one of those cases where history simply swallows an object whole. The mask's current location remains a mystery. Number 3. Romanov Easter eggs. The Romanov Easter eggs were a stunning series of bejeweled creations crafted by famed Russian jeweler Peter Karl Fabergé for the Russian royal family. Commissioned by Tsar Alexander III and later by Tsar Nicholas II, these ornate eggs were presented each Easter as imperial gifts. Each one was different, featuring miniature clocks, portraits, or mechanical surprises. Between 1885 and 1916, 52 were made, but only 46 are known to exist today. The fate of the missing 6 remains a mystery. When the Bolsheviks executed the Romanov family in 1918 and seized all imperial belongings, the whereabouts of many eggs were unknown. Some were smuggled out of Russia during the revolution, eventually surfacing in private collections. The remaining few, however, vanished completely. I've seen photos of the surviving eggs. They're breathtaking. It's hard to believe something that intricate could just disappear. Number 2. The Nazi gold train of Walbrzych. Beneath Poland's 13th century Książ castle is a mystery that refuses to die. The Nazi gold train of Walbrzych. According to legend, a train carrying 330 tons of gold, gems, stolen art, and even weapons was hidden in a network of secret tunnels near the end of World War II. It's said the Nazis buried it to keep it from falling into enemy hands. In 2016, 2 men, Andreas Richter and Piotr Koper, claimed they'd found it using radar. The news made headlines. I remember people flocking to the area, shovels in hand, chasing fortune. But nothing turned up. In 2018, Richter quit the hunt, disappointed. Koper kept going. A year later, during palace restoration work in the village of Struga, he stumbled onto 24 murals hidden under plaster. Not Nazi gold, but still something. And so the legend continues. Whether the train's real or not, the allure is powerful. Until those tunnels are fully explored, I don't think the search for gold is going anywhere. Number 1. Ark of the Covenant. According to the Hebrew Bible, the Ark of the Covenant was a sacred chest that housed the stone tablets inscribed with the 10 Commandments. This revered artifact was kept within the first temple in Jerusalem, a holy structure said to have been constructed by King Solomon. Considered the holiest site in Judaism, the temple stood as a spiritual epicenter until 587 BC, when it was destroyed by the Babylonian army under King Nebuchadnezzar II during the conquest of Jerusalem. After the city was pillaged and the temple reduced to ruins, the Ark of the Covenant vanished from recorded history. Its fate has remained one of history's most enduring mysteries. Over the centuries, countless theories have emerged, some claiming it was hidden, others suggesting it was taken or destroyed. Despite ongoing searches and speculation, the Ark's final resting place has never been confirmed. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we'll see you very soon.